At this point, you now have a full understanding of how Pinterest works, and you're set up with an account that both looks the part and should help more people to start finding the content that you're creating. All that's left to do now is actually begin marketing. We've looked over most of the advantages of marketing on Pinterest already, and we've seen how it lends itself well to promoting a website, a blog, or a business. But now it's time to move away from the hypothetical and start creating a business model that works. Let's start with the basics by looking at what makes any type of marketing strategy and any type of business successful. And the single answer here is value. If you want to engage your audience, if you want to build customers and fans, and if you want to engender loyalty, then you need to be offering high quality value to achieve all of those things. This means, in other words, that you need to give people a concrete reason to want to spend time engaging with your brand. The mistake a lot of companies and marketers make on social media is simply to try and use it as a platform for promoting a product. They want to get direct sales immediately, and they're trying to reach a broader audience by doing this through social media. You'll see this when you follow a company on Twitter that does nothing but talk about its products or services. I'm sure we've all seen them, try our latest products today. Want to save time in the office? Our productivity tools are just for you. Hurry while stocks last. Well, the equivalent on Pinterest is simply to post images from articles with no rhyme or reason, or just post images of the same product over and over, hoping someone will notice it. Unfortunately, this is an entirely incorrect approach, and social media just doesn't lend itself to that kind of promotion. Why? Because you need people to want to follow you on social media. And if all you're doing is posting about your company, then you're not really going to give anyone a chance to do that. Would you follow a social media profile that only ever tried to sell its products to you? Or would you quickly get bored and unsubscribe? Instead, you need to think like the top brands on Pinterest and offer the kind of service that people are looking for on the platform. In other words, inspiration, ideas, and life hacks. The ideal type of company for Pinterest is a company that sells wedding decorations or perhaps prints wedding invitations. You can then create a Pinterest board that will share images of wedding decorations, both involving your own products and using other products. Make sure that the ideas are unique and interesting, that they provide style and elegance on a budget, and that they offer the kind of ideas that your followers might not have come up with themselves. This way, you give them an actual reason to follow you, because they're learning. Also, you might create a Pinterest board about battle stations if you sell computer parts. Now, battle stations are essentially PCs that are set up for gamers and are designed to look cool with lots of glowing parts and huge dual monitor setups. Sell cupboards? Then you could create a board about organizational life hacks. Sell cooking ingredients? Then share pins of great meals and desserts and discuss the ingredients and the procedure in the comments underneath. In any of these cases, you're giving people a reason to follow you on Pinterest because you're offering value in the form of ideas, inspiration, or just aesthetic beauty. If you're selling a physical product, and especially something that looks beautiful or has a chic appeal, then you'll find Pinterest to be the perfect fit for your business. But what if you sell insurance? What if you sell ebooks about making money through day trading? What if your niche isn't something that appeals to hipsters? How do you make this work on Pinterest? Well, the answer is that you need to go a little bit deeper and think about lifestyle and about value proposition. Now, in terms of lifestyle, it's pertinent to consider that every product or service you sell will ultimately support some kind of lifestyle and will appeal to a certain type of person. Fitness ebooks, for example, appeal to people who like working out and who want to be in better shape. The fitness lifestyle is an inspiring and visual concept that you can portray with pictures of people jogging on the beach listening to an MP3 player, or with pictures of people working out outdoors. Likewise, if you sell holiday insurance, then the lifestyle is the traveling lifestyle, And you can post images of beautiful foreign destinations, or you can have boards outlining things to do in particular places. Value proposition, meanwhile, refers to the value that your product or service really offers beyond the sum of its parts. You know, the old saying goes that you don't sell hats, you sell warm heads. What this means is that the true value of the hat is in its ability to keep your head warm. So, if you can't post pictures of your hat, then you can always post pictures of your warm head. What's the value proposition of life insurance? Well, simple. It's keeping your family happy and safe after you're gone and looking after their finances. As such then, your board doesn't need to include images of life insurance policies, the hat, but instead should include pretty pictures of happy families enjoying days out together and doing fun things, the warm head. Your board could just be designed to give people that warm, fuzzy feeling by showing people having a great time. Or it could be used to provide tips and ideas. You know, how about ideas for things for people to do together as a family on a budget? Maybe it could be filled with pictures that humorously satirize the nature of the modern family. If your blog is about SEO and digital marketing, then your value proposition is business success, wealth, and the feeling of accomplishment that comes from making it big online. Perhaps it's also the freedom that you gain when you work for yourself and aren't restrained to work in an office with a boss leaning over your shoulder. To demonstrate this on a Pinterest board, you could show images of people working in exciting locations like huge libraries or on the beach in a hammock. Or you could show people in suits looking successful and well dressed thanks to the money they managed to earn online. Either way, the key here is to come up with themes for your board that deliver real value and purpose for Pinterest users while remaining on topic. You know, don't just randomly repin pictures that vaguely relate, and don't just promote your products, and certainly don't just promote your articles randomly. If you do so, you won't be providing value and you won't grow your viewership. Think of your Pinterest profile almost like a service or a product in itself. The ideal scenario is that people will end up looking forward to checking out your pins, or they may even become reliant on your boards. They should be disappointed if ever your board gets taken down, and the board should almost be able to exist on its own as a separate entity from your business. This still leaves us with one problem though. If your board is about great interior design ideas and your company sells furniture and decorative items, then it's going to be very easy for you to include images of your products that people can click through and buy. But if you sell life insurance and your board is about fun family days out, you still won't be able to easily sell directly through the board. So how do you make sales from that? On the whole, your objective here is not going to be to sell directly. Instead, the aim will be to raise awareness for your brand and build trust and authority. The hope is that your audience will come to think of you as an expert on the subject of families and life insurance. As such, they'll follow your links when they do want to find out more about getting a policy. This, of course, is not a direct way to sell, but in the long term, it can actually be a lot more effective as you're building a long-term relationship and you're establishing yourself as a thought leader in your field. At the same time, you need to think about the comments that you're adding to your pictures. This is your opportunity to directly link the image back to your site and promote your product. For example, if you're uploading images of people doing home workouts to provide inspiration and ideas to your followers, then you can sell through those images by adding a note at the bottom explaining how they can find more similar moves in your ebook at this link. The great thing about Pinterest is that it really does leverage the viral power of social networks. If your board is really delivering great value, then this fact alone will be enough to ensure it grows naturally. People will repin your pins, they'll comment, and they'll discover what you're posting through the search button. If you're offering new content, if you're staying on topic, and if you're providing real value by offering a genuine service of some kind, then people will gradually gravitate towards your brand and you'll start building your following. But that's not to say there aren't also other things that you can do to further accelerate your progress. Now, here are some of the ways you can grow your following more quickly. First thing to do is post regularly. The more regularly you post, the more often your images will be found in searches. At the same time, they'll also come up in home feeds more often, which means other users will be more likely to repin them and thereby share them with their audiences, giving you more exposure. Secondly, you should choose your tags carefully. As on Twitter, choosing the right hashtags is one of the most important ingredients when it comes to gaining maximum exposure for your images. These tags will dictate which searches bring up your images, and this means they'll be directly responsible for the number of people finding your brand. When choosing your tags, make sure you think about the types of things that commonly get searched for on this platform. Remember the kinds of things people use Pinterest for, and remember that the audience is 85% female. Remember too that people are looking for images. How to isn't applicable here. Life hack is a more suitable string. You should write comments. If you upload an image without any comment, you give it no context. This means you won't be getting the very most from it, simply because people won't know what you're trying to say with the image. If it's a body weight exercise, then explain how to do the exercise. If it's a decoration for the home, then explain how people can use it, what it's made from, and where it can be bought. Make sure to link your brand to the image, otherwise people might just appreciate the image but never engage with your profile as the person who uploaded it. You should interact with others. On social media, reciprocity is a very underrated tool. This is still a social network, and therefore it should be used as a communication tool. The more you talk to people, the more likely they will be to check out your profile and to look at your boards. So make sure you're interacting, following, repinning, and more. If nothing else, this helps to build goodwill as you'll be helping those users promote themselves too. And you should integrate your website. One of the most important ways for you to spread your brand across Pinterest and to get found by more people is to properly link your website and your Pinterest account. There are a few ways that you should do this. One is by adding a link on your homepage to your Pinterest account. This way, someone who lands on your website for the first time and decides that they like your content can decide to follow you on social media as well, and can then decide to check out your Pinterest and follow your account or your boards. Another tip is to use Shareaholic or a similar social sharing tool on your website. If you have a WordPress site, these can be installed very easily. In fact, you can do it from within the WordPress dashboard. And they will allow people to quickly and easily pin an article that they found interesting along with an image. This means that there'll be more people sharing your images and you'll gain more exposure as a result. Another thing you can do is cross-pollinate. You should also make sure that you occasionally try to cross-pollinate between your social media channels. If you have a very successful Twitter account, for example, then occasionally tweet about the inspiring boards you're creating at Pinterest. Likewise, you can share your pins to Facebook for people to see. Do this occasionally to help grow all of your accounts at once. And finally, think about Pinterest when you create content. If you've heard of clickbait, then you'll know how a lot of website owners are now creating content specifically to encourage shares on Facebook. This is content that uses an obtuse title in order to make people curious and to encourage more clicks as a result. It's frustrating, but it works, and sites like BuzzFeed have built their business off the back of it. So the point is, thinking about how you're going to share your content before you create it is a good idea. And the same goes for marketing on Pinterest. If you're going to make an article successful on Pinterest, then what does it need? Simple. It needs a great image that will make the article more compelling, and this will also help when other people share your images and your pages. Make sure you are creating unique images for your site and that they're designed in such a way as to really sell the content of your article or blog post and to encourage people to follow the URL. Some things that can work well are tips that can be portrayed through a single image, memes, or inspirational quotes. Note as well that certain images automatically attract more attention than others. We're psychologically hardwired, for instance, to notice pictures of faces.